Uh, okay. So it looks like Meek Mill has gone to. He's in Ghana. He's in Africa right now in Ghana, which is West Africa, I believe. And he's talking to like the prime minister about criminal justice reform. If you're not familiar, Meek Mill has been doing work, like real work, like activism work, policy work, to try to change criminal justice reform for black men and really black people in America. He's been doing this work for, I've been following it for at least the last 3 years. I've made so many videos on this channel that are about the poverty problems that I personally have worked on, and I will link those in the description box. But the issue specifically that I ended up working on during a fellowship that I did on poverty was specifically on recidivism and of how to reintegrate people who have been incarcerated back into society. That's the definition of recidivism. Um, so the work that Meek Mill is doing is extremely impactful, and I can say from a person who has interviewed maybe, I don't know, 150 people who have been incarcerated for multiple reasons. Like, some people have actually committed the crime and they did it because they didn't really have any other option. They didn't know better. They didn't have any other resources. This is a really common theme in terms of black Americans where they have to resort to criminality simply because the economy and society as it is racialized, and so they have no way to enter the economy. Like, some jobs you need education for, and education isn't free. So if you don't have the education to like get a certain job, then you don't qualify for it and you can't do it. Like, I can't just decide tomorrow I want to be an orthopedic surgeon and be like one of the people on Grey's Anatomy and then just do it. I have to go through quite a lot of school to do it. And even to get into a school or a program where I can start to do it, you need to have a pretty decent foundation in terms of K through 12 education. And a lot of black people go to public schools, but they're really bad public schools. And I've talked about this extensively on this channel, so I won't do that again here. But I think that if you actually do care about the lives of black children, like if you consider yourself black and you have black children, especially in America, you should be listening to what he says and you should care about recidivism, because like, he was actually wrongfully convicted, which 50, in terms of the research that I've done, in 50% of the cases of black people who are locked up, they're actually wrongfully convicted. There are a lot of black criminals in this country, so don't get it twisted. Like, a lot of black people in America do commit crimes, violent crimes, all type of crimes, like drug crimes, like all type of stuff. But there's also a lot of people, just because like the stereotypes and propaganda that's been like infiltrated through society, it gives you this image that all black people are out here committing crimes. And now I feel like with YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all these things, you now see like a variety of black people, right? So it's like, you don't only see black criminals, and we have to be clear. In the last 2 years, that's the first time we've ever seen that. In terms of American media, before, all we saw were black people as criminals. Every TV show, The Wire, every movie was about black people as either a slave or a criminal. So we didn't have any other ideological tropes or sort of like imagery or depictions of what it means to be a black adult, even though there were real black adults in society, in American society, in the world, who were doing other things. We just didn't have any media representation around it. So the general population, like general pop, I participate in general pop, so that's why I always try to give you guys a view of like, okay, you can see the Hollywood version and then you can see the real version, and you can decide for yourself like what you personally want to subscribe to. That's literally the whole reason of my channel. Like, you need to have Kelly stamps to see kind of like the Kelly version, the like societally acceptable version of what's happening, and then you need me. I'm like the black version of like Miley Cyrus. We're gonna give it to you straight, like a straight shot of gin or whiskey. Like, we're gonna tell you what really happened, and then you can get the Justine Skye version, which is like, well, we have all the money and access and privilege, so we don't even see those problems at all. All of those black experiences are existing at the same time. And then there's the people who aren't even on YouTube explaining anything. There's like the sunny version. Any of the people from like my Habesha exploration video, what they're doing is they're trying to like figure out their place in society. That's why they can't make any YouTube videos where you're like long form explaining shit. All they can do is like take pictures that try to represent some image that they see of themselves. It's like this immigrant plight, right? Where they're like, let's only take pictures that show us doing good things so that no one has this idea that we are human and like live like everyone else. Because we all live in the same society. So some shit is like not acceptable to put online, so we don't put it on there. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but also it doesn't happen to everyone because some people have ethics, other people have guns and violence. There's a lot of reasons why some shit doesn't happen to some people and it does happen to other people. Sometimes you just hit bad luck where like you just something shitty might happen to you. Either way, I wanted to give, what is this now, 4 minutes of my time to just salute Meek Mill and say I see the work that you're doing. It is good work. Unfortunately, I'm no longer a part of the activism space, criminal justice, civil rights, like none of that shit. I don't participate in those spaces anymore. But if you're there and if you're black and if that's your struggle, you should at least understand what he's doing because it's good work and it's actually necessary work in terms of black people moving forward.